back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be letting a random generator decide what I draw. It took me a while to find a generator that I liked, but eventually I happened upon this one. So let's see what I get. An apple sweater with that color palette. They go pretty well together actually. I think I can draw this. Let's get started. So the first thing I had to make sure to do was do a pose that wouldn't cover up her apple sweater because obviously that had to be the main point of this picture. I like the pose that I ended up deciding on. I feel like it's really cute. Also, for some reason, apple sweaters made me think of the double space buns hairstyle, so that's what I ended up doing for her hair. I also randomly decided to give her a beauty mark because I thought that would be a really cute extra touch. For the rest of her outfit, I just gave her shorts and a bracelet because I thought that those things went well with the apple sweater idea. I was very unsure about the way I originally drew her eyes. I felt like they just looked really weird, so I tried to edit them and make them look a bit better. I do think that they are definitely improved a lot after I finished messing with them. Once I was happy with everything, I moved on to the coloring process, and this time I decided to film it in a real-time footage rather than time-lapse because I thought you guys might enjoy seeing that. So, let's switch to that now. Although this is indeed real-time footage and not a time-lapse, you might notice that it seems a little faster than normal. That's because I did actually have to speed it up a little bit because I was just very slow with the coloring and I thought it was a little bit too boring to watch in the complete real-time. So I hope that's okay with you guys. Later I will switch to actual real-time though, don't worry. But for now, you can see me picking out which colors I'm gonna use for the picture based on the color palette I was given from the random generator. I thought of making her hair green at first and then a muted red, but eventually I just decided on brownish black because honestly, that just looked the best with the other colors here. It's always annoying filling in the hair because there's always so many specks that the fill tool just won't do because of how thin I make the edges of the bangs. I've seen some digital artists who literally just use the pen tool to fill in everything and they never use the fill tool, but I don't understand that. To me, that's just too frustrating and takes way too long. If you do that, I would like to know why. Why do some digital artists prefer that? Because I've never understood it, honestly. And here I'm coloring in the little hairpiece that she has, and I made them red. Now I'm gonna do the apple on her sweater. This is based on a reference picture that I found online. I thought it was super cute, so I decided to copy it. This footage is not sped up anymore. This is complete real time. This is exactly how long it took me to draw it. At first, I accidentally, for some reason, made the entire apple red instead of making the middle this yellowish color because I wanted it to be a cut-open apple, so I did remember to fix that later and I changed it to yellow. But for now, it looks like one of those weird apples that are still red when you cut them open. I find those so strange looking. By the way, I actually got the idea for this video because my dad requested that I do something where I use a random generator to decide my drawing, so actually, thanks Dad, this video is for you, I guess. It was his idea. So I was trying to make the leaf of the apple look like it was kind of sewed or embroidered on. I wanted it to have a different texture, so instead of making it a full leaf, I just added these random lines and went with that. I feel like it does give it a better look though. The main thing that inspired me about the reference picture is the way that they drew the core of the apple. They drew it so cutely, and I will add it in a moment, and you'll see why I like it so much. So they kind of drew this star, and I just felt like it looked so cute. It reminded me of a power star from Mario or something, but anyways, it just felt like the way it was stylized was so nice that I had to copy it for this. I mean, it is really adorable, isn't it? But now that I have finished drawing the apple, that pretty much wraps up the real-time footage. We had to go back to time-lapse so I can complete the rest of the picture because there's still quite a lot to do. So let's go back to that now, okay? So now I was starting to shade the eyes. After applying the shading, the eyes became a mix of the lighter teal I originally got from the color palette as well as a darker green. I was having fun adding some extra red shading to the edges of the eyes because I feel like it really made them pop. I wasn't very happy with the overall shape of her eyes though, so I was editing that as well as her bangs a little bit. After I edited them though, they really do look a lot better, don't they? I think that I made the top of her head a little bit too long, so I decided to make it a little bit smaller by editing it with the select tool, and then I just pulled it down a little bit. I don't know why, but adding all the skin shading and the shading in general was just a lot of fun. I feel like it really pulled everything together. The thing I was definitely most excited for was adding the texture onto the sweater so it would actually look like a sweater and not just a normal sweatshirt or something. Can we all just take a moment to appreciate just how good of colors this random generator gave me? They match the apple sweater theme so well. I was worried originally that this would be a little bit too fall themed, but I think it definitely suits summer. Not that there's anything wrong with fall, just I didn't really feel like doing a fall picture right now. I would rather not rush the cold weather. It was really fun getting to add all the extra shines to the picture. I feel like they made everything look so much cuter. Also here I thought of changing her mouth, but I ended up keeping it the way it was originally pretty much. Just very tiny edits because I didn't really like the original shape of it. I felt like it was a little bit weird. And now it is time for the part that I was probably most excited for the entire time. Drawing all these little random things to go around her. So when I was looking up the reference pictures for the apple sweater, I kept seeing all these like pictures that had like these random aesthetic things all around it, like these little collages, and I thought it would be so cute if I drew everything by hand for this picture to make it like a collage of itself. So pretty much everything here is apple themed besides the random graham cracker, and I was having so much fun drawing these. I feel like the knowledge I got from making this video when I was drawing sweets was really helpful because I was able to make all these really fast. My favorite things that I added here would definitely be the apple-themed camera as well as the apple Tamagotchi. I just think they both turned out really adorable. By the way, inside of the apple Tamagotchi, for some reason I decided to draw a cat and then I just pixelated it using the like mosaic filter. I'm not really sure why I decided to draw a cat since that has nothing to do with apples, but I do really like how it turned out. At this point I was moving things around and also adding these little white borders to some of it because I felt like that would make it look a little bit better and kind of more like a Pinterest collage or something. I don't really know what else to talk about. I feel like not that much is going on. I could talk about something random, but I'm not really sure what. I mean, I guess something really cool would be that my family's been visiting a pond and we've been seeing these tadpoles, but then recently me and my brother were going and we saw these random tiny bugs hopping around, but then I realized they were actually tiny frogs. For some reason, it's never something that I thought about, but when tadpoles first become frogs, they're still tiny and they were so cute. I absolutely loved being able to see them. They literally look exactly like normal big frogs, except they're super small. It's really cool what you can see in nature when you pay attention and go slowly instead of just rushing through it. You really gotta take some time to notice the beauty in nature. It's not something you can see by just running through it. The only other thing I can really think of at the moment is that me and my sister just completed the Love Live Superstar anime. There are 3 seasons and we just finished the final one. It was definitely, all in all, a really good show. Not perfect, but really good. It was well written and also the characters were relatable and just very cute, and I also really liked the music and sometimes it was even emotional. It was very good overall. My favorite character from the show is Sumire, by the way. Sadly though, me and my sister are not quite sure what we're gonna watch next. We're a little bit stumped with what our next show should be. But anyways, back to the artwork. We are at the point in the process where I just added a bunch of effects and little textures everywhere on the picture to try to make it more interesting before I could call it complete. So we are insanely close to the end. It was really fun using that random generator to decide what I drew today because I feel like I made something really amazing that I wouldn't have made normally. It's just so random, but I also feel like it's really adorable. But anyways, here we are. Here is the finished picture. Like I said, it was super fun working on this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. My mom just got ice cream, so I'm gonna eat that now. So, bye for now!